Oh my god. You guys, it's hot. It's a very hot day. It's probably the hottest day of the year. It's a little toasty. It's that kind of heat where if you have a black computer desk, it like burns your skin through your shirt and jeans to sit on it. Hello everybody. Welcome. We're going to be playing some more Path of Fire. I have not had an easy week. It's not been a good week, really. I did lots of recording for the LP, only for it all to disappear. In a way that is so basically, I've had an issue with my microphone setup. I think it was the Windows had the big infamous, what is that? The 803 update or whatever last week, which broke some stuff temporarily, which I fixed. But there was a much more sinister issue that was thrown in the... So basically, I recorded, let's just say, a lot of gameplay, only to find that none of it was usable anymore. And I was really sad. So that was a pretty big bummer. Audiobook still didn't manage to get on. Didn't manage to do yesterday's stream either. But we're here. We'll continue again. I have about 1,000 messages on Discord. I haven't looked at Discord for a week. So it's really built up. Yeah, it's not great. Also, the Guild Wars 1 forum AFC, I wanted to post some questions in, but didn't get a chance to. So I hope you guys did, because I think it's closed now, isn't it? I mean, the devs will still respond, but I think the actual questions on there are closed. So, yeah, I hope people asked about the good stuff. I really, really, really wanted to submit a question about official merch. I wanted to say, hey, what official merch is lost to the you know, that people don't know about anymore, like Guild Wars 1 toys and Guild Wars 1 stuff like that. You know, I tweeted a while ago an image of the collector's Chinese edition of Guild Wars 2, which has this badass looking mug and stuff. You know, there is weird stuff out there. There's that really odd Korean Guild Wars 1 launch trailer. I wanted to ask about all kinds of stuff, and I just never got around to it in the end. So hopefully the community has picked up the slack. Benji, it's good to see you. All right, let me look at chat here as I load the game up and we figure out what we're gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do anything too intense speculation and story discussion wise here today, because my mind is just in so many other places, and also the heat. For the love of God, the heat. So we might just be chilling, but we'll see. Benji, just got through your LP. It's been brilliant. Keep my mind off of some things at the moment. Oh, well, I'm glad to keep your mind off of whatever your mind should be on, or hopefully you don't want on, or whatever that is. But yeah, dude, thanks very much. Now that you're caught up, you're in that horrible stage where you have to wait for new episodes, so yeah. Yeah, we're at the bit where we're going to be asking for lost cities over and over and over and over again, which I actually really like. I like this bit of the plot, and I like the Amnoon bit where we go back to the town. I'm going to craft the... Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not going to craft. I wonder whether there is anything else to do in the Highlands, though, maybe collection-wise, that I haven't done for a while. Not sure. Your Chrome browser keeps freezing. Anyone else have this problem? No, not me. Do you mean specifically on Twitch? Oh, I can't really show you my character select anymore. All right. Yes, MB Halo. I just explained what happened with the LP this week. So who am I logging in on? The Warrior, I guess. Let me find him. Haven't played him since we were last doing this. All right, in we go. Delete System 32. Don't do that. Kesho is your favorite mission? Yeah, Kesho is... I really liked all of it. I liked how it... You know, you kind of need that moment to relax and pull back a little bit. I got to turn down the volume here. You kind of need that moment to relax and pull back a bit after... Oh my god, come on. My speakers are so annoying. Turn down. Thank you. After all the intense craziness that the rest of the story was doing. Because otherwise... You just got too much you're taking in, and Kesho's got some big lore bombs in it as well, so I really do like the bit where we slow down. Free camera, I want to say. So here, by the way, I've been trying something. I have managed to play PvP this week at least. I've been really wanting to improve with my keybinds in terms of movement lately, and I'm wondering if anyone knows or has any inspiration for a certain something. So let me just quickly log in on my Reaper. I'll show you the new area. If you guys didn't know, there's a new Heart of the Mist area as well, so I can show that off the arena section. You can't find System 32 on your Mac. What are you doing wrong? Well, you need to create it and then delete it. Alright. Movement. What I want to be able to do is at all times move at max speed in all directions, just as you can with combat mode, but without the drawbacks of combat mode. So let me just be very clear and slow in my description of this. First of all, combat mode has the issues with ground targeted stuff like these wells. You know, if I go into combat modes, my camera is forced to move wherever my ground targets are. So if I'm running away from someone and I'm in combat mode, it's really annoying to drop a well back there while running away at full speed. For example, if I turn combat mode off, I can easily, like, just place it anywhere and everywhere and I'm fine. Now, this build, this Reaper build, doesn't have many ground targets, so it's not a big deal. But, oh, you know, I can actually feel my FPS getting chunked really hard, and I'll tell you why. It's because the PC is so hot. This is crazy. Oh, actually, hold on. When I alt-tab out of Guild Wars, it goes up. Is that the Windows update as well? Is that focus assist thing? Anyway, that's really weird. So that's one drawback of combat mode. Here's what's good about combat mode. If I go combat mode, and so if I'm in regular game and I'm looking at this golem, and I move left, I can strafe left like this, and to the right, and to the left, right? I can do this. I can even bind to turn, which is even slower. But this is my max speed. Now, if I go into combat mode, and I continue looking in the same direction, but I run left and right, I will very easily, with no extra exertion, I'm now moving about as twice as fast. So if you look here, no combat mode, I toggle it on, and I run twice as fast. Off, on, off, on. And people know this, right? This isn't new. I'm just being comprehensive in my description here, okay? Same goes for running backwards. Now, running backwards you can do without combat mode by going free cam, about face, and then forward. So you can press 3 buttons to accomplish what combat mode does in one. So you can go backwards because you can use the about face hotkey, right? And you can do stuff like that. And that's not too bad. So that's fine. You don't technically need S bound. You don't need back pedal bound. Technically, you could always be very smart about your about faces and stuff. Though I think that having S bound does offer you some tactical advantage in some places. It's probably a bad habit thing. But so this is good. So you might say, well, just use combat mode then WP. Well, here's the thing. Combat mode has a bit of code in it, which means, so first of all, there is combat speed. So I currently move at a certain speed. When I attack the golem, I get in combat and I now move slower. All right. So our movement now, if I lose my target, but I'm still in combat, I do now move slower, which means that the animation for the Char stops like jogging, right, on all fours. But I'm still going at max speed kind of thing. If I put swiftness on myself, probably it will. No, see, so because I'm in combat, we don't get the full animation or whatever. How might you that? It might just because my weapons are drawn. No, I guess just being in combat disables that altogether. That's interesting. Anyway. My point is, there's a combat speed debuff. Now, there is an additional movement speed debuff that the devs have additionally added under the hood to combat mode that you guys might not be familiar with. So I'm going to break combat now, and everything I show you now is going to have nothing to do with being in combat anymore. That's just a separate system. But when I'm in combat mode, we do this again. I showed you this already. We can move left and right at full speed, turn it off. We only go this fast. Turn it on, we go this fast. And obviously, this is really good for PvP for zoning people if you could just get instant access to this, right? However, when you're in combat mode, yes, it enables you to move super fast. But if you ever use any animation, it can be your heal skill that has no packet of damage on it. This one does, but it could be... you know, well, everything I do does damage here. But it can be anything. It could be a missed attack. Whenever you use any animation, there is a 3-second combat cooldown. You're not in combat, but there is a combat mode specific cooldown, which disables the maximum movement. So here, as I'm auto-attacking, I'm not in combat. I'm pressing the same buttons. But now, when I stop auto-attacking, it still takes a while for the combat mode's big speed to kick in. See, so I do one attack, and now I've got to wait 3, 2, now I go 2, 1. It's like there's like a 2-second delay before it gives you your maximum speed back. It doesn't have to be that way at all. That additional buffer period that they've added in combat mode, that doesn't have to be there. For example, if I don't use combat mode and I just go free cam about face, I can... Well, I fucked that up. But if I can use an attack, free cam about face, and run away at full speed. Yeah. I can do the free cam method. I can turn like this and I can run at full speed. It's just that they've added that in combat mode. So what I want is all the benefits of combat mode without this like global cooldown that applies after every animation, so that I can at all times, if I'm not autoing or anything, I can at all times move at max speed to like zone people out and, you know, avoid full counters, do easy jumping puzzles backwards with the camera tilted at a different place, you know, strafe around, serpentine around boulders coming at me in Rampage. You know, zone out all kinds of stuff. Like, this would be so powerful. But combat mode, because the devs almost arbitrarily add this buffer, you can't do that. So does anyone have any inspiration for a proper full-on keybind setup that would... Now, if there was a keybind for about face, but instead it was to turn left, if there was a keybind I could press that would just do this, in the same way that about face moves me 180, if there was a keybind I could press that moved me only 90 to the left or 90 to the right, that would be awesome. But there is no such keybind. You've got... where's movement? You got turn left and turn right, which if I swap with my about... These just very slowly turn you. Like, these are horrendous. You shouldn't really use these. So I can free cam and then turn left and do that. But that's like so slow. That's not like combat mode at all. You know, so I could do that and then about face, and then I get a 90-degree turn if I use that, and now I press about face, I do get my 90-degree turn because it's respective to where the camera is. About face just moves you to the camera. It doesn't actually about face you. So if I do this and then I press about face, I get a 90-degree turn. But I don't want to do it that way. Do you get what I mean? So anyway, I'm wondering, like there, I want to be able to blow my war horn and not face the camera and slow down. I want to be able to blow it and keep this speed the whole time. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's something I've been thinking of, and I'm not sure that there's any real solution. I see in chat someone just said that a tavern upgrade is ready for the guild. I'm not surprised. I've been so disconnected from Discord and the community and everything this week that I feel very, very out of the loop and very out of touch with people. So, I will proc that, absolutely. Let's go on our main before we go to the Path of Fire playthrough. Having a hot weather is good, don't you think? Yeah, I love having hot weather, man. I really do. Much prefer hot weather to cold weather. I feel myself. There's that thing where, like, you got to get enough vitamin D and whatever, right? I genuinely feel when the days are shorter, I don't, like, on any conscious level acknowledge that it's depressing me or it's hitting my productivity or any of that. On no conscious level would I ever detect that, ever. But enough years have gone by now where I watch the patterns of my life that I realize every time winter rolls around, it just drags me down. It just drags, and all kinds of things go out the window whenever winter comes around. It's a really, really weird thing. I love the hot weather. I reckon I'd really thrive if I had the money and the lifestyle to support it. I reckon I'd really thrive as one of those guys that lives in the northern hemisphere for half the year, southern hemisphere for the other half. Seriously, I reckon that would do so well for me because I really do feel winter dragging me down. This is maybe the second year that I've really noticed that that is a definite thing for me. And again, it's not conscious. I don't mind the dark. I'm happy to live all my days never seeing the sun, but it does get to you. Because if your sleep is a little bit messed up, if you're, as a man living in the UK that is pushed by his job to sync up with American time zones all the time, it's constantly, my risk of not seeing the sun in winter is very, very high. And it does hit you. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, Guildhall. Right, for Spud 2. You ready, NA Spuds? Let's see here. How do you feel about Sunken Chest as a content update? I haven't played it. I'm going to play it with Boots at some point, but I don't know. I haven't done it yet. What do you think, Spitting Llama? You learned to stop complaining when it's hot? You can do more to solve things when it's hot as well, I think, anyway. You can get a beautiful fan, like, blowing on you, and it's the most comfortable thing ever. You know what I learned this week? Actual, genuine life advice here for you guys. Get a fan. Nothing crazy pricey or anything. Don't get copped into spending tons of money that you don't have to. Don't worry about that. Wait, it was marketplace upgrade, right? So there'll be someone near here. Don't spend tons of money. Get a fan though, you know, that whizzes around. Get one that's got an adjustable height. And what you want to do is in bed at night, lean it against your mattress. and hang the quilt over it, then get in bed, and you get like this amazing cushion of air like blowing onto you while you still get to wrap up in your sheets at night, and your skin will never feel smoother, trust me. That in a cool bed on a hot summer's night, oh my god, amazing. Amazing. If you can work out just before you go to bed as well and have like a really nice hot shower, and then you just the best. Okay, magic finds. Add a personal enhancement at the tavern that increases the chance of finding magic find items. What level is Spud 2 at the moment? Level 20. Doesn't that mean we just unlocked the capability to get further exploration? So this was a lot of stuff. Good job, NA Spuds. Omnumberry, wine, luck, mystic crystals, glass mugs, empty kegs, totems, and dust. Lots of stuff. We got a ton of favor again. You guys built that up so quick. Let me check the Explorer. Let's see here. I don't actually know where the Explorer is on this guild hall. Is this him over here? Enhancements, Tavern Proprietor, Sound Technician. He's over here. Obtain a guild hall. I think this is the guy you get further exploration from, correct? Let's go have a look. You guys can hear the game well enough, right? I can't hear it at all because there's no way in hell I'm putting a headset on tonight. And I don't want it out of the speakers because it might echo back into the stream, so... You can't live without AC blown. That doesn't surprise me at all. How's the guild doing? Having any trouble getting this place restored and upgraded? I know the various proprietors from the initiative look forward to working with you. How do I get everything restored and upgraded? Easy. The initiative's proprietors all have different specialities. They each take a hand in restoring the buildings around here. For example, Gamley can help restore the tavern. I like how they push you to the tavern, which is like the first thing. How do I restore a building? The proprietors, they'll be coming from Lion's Arch. Unlock them at your tavern. Yeah, that's all well and good. That's not who we're looking for then. They have to be in the central location then. Perhaps the notary. That's the war room. War materials. Arena proprietor. Tavern proprietor. It's not at the tavern you get further exploration, is it? I'm sure we can do it back at Lion's Arch as well, but I kind of want to go to the new guy because, you know, it's new expansion content. Specking Llama says, I like content like Sunken Chest that seems to be cheap content to create and still gives some nice zone-out content so I can watch your stream or listen to podcasts and still accomplish things. Yeah, oh, that reminds me. Boots sent me a weird tweet saying I need to, like, prepare it or something. Don't you need, like, 5 daily somethings or something?
Busy job.
I forget. Oh, man. It's really weird how heavily it hits me when I'm, like, just a weekish away.
Oh, hello.
Alright, here. Greetings. I'm Pally, the Guild Initiative Notary assigned to your encampment. How may I assist you? What upgrades can I purchase? Alright, here it is. Guild Hall obtained. Further exploration. Oh, it's level 40. What the dick? I thought it was 20. Alright, fine. That's exciting. Oh, we need a lot of stuffs as well, guys. Oh, I can submit those tomes of knowledge. That's not a problem. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, let me... How do I refresh that, though?
It's a beautiful day.
Huh? But I have them. I have them here. It says that it wants... Oh, I guess it's not accepting tomes of knowledge yet because... we're not the requisite level. Alright, never mind then. That should genuinely be like 1,000 tomes of knowledge to be anywhere remotely near it. Even then it wouldn't be a sync because the devs added this stuff in like all the wrong way. There's a daily achievement category for it now. Kill 10 crate each day for a key. There are 10 chests to open. The vendor gives 1 free key the first time you talk to it. Okay. Do I get the daily progress before even getting the original key? Oh yeah, Sunken Treasure daily. Oh, this is interesting. Damn, you guys shouldn't have told me that. Are you supposed to get my reaction to that in the video? Ooh. That does sound kind of cool. Alright, so that's the guild hall done then, I guess. We've got a ways to go. Let me go spend some favour for the NA spuds, though. So that they're not constantly piled up. Wow, to get all the AP from the Sunken Chest, you need 100 days? I think that's fine, though. I really do think that's fine. I've never been adverse. Well, actually, at one point in my life, I was probably averse to that stuff. But not anymore. Spud Club 2. It's actually amazing. I don't think that the wooden potatoes that was reading Guild Wars Guru and stuff before Guild Wars 2 came out, that got all hyped by all their innovations and stuff, is such a different person to the wooden potato speaking to you now. The wooden potato speaking to you now, after 5 years of seeing all the flaws with some of their philosophies, is like very, very, very at a different angle. Or what I now consider to be flaws because I've had a saturation of this experience, I guess is the better way of putting it. They're not, you know, I'm not saying they're factually flawed in the way that they believe that MMO should be handled. But it is interesting to think how much this game has shaped and changed me and pushed me in many ways back to traditional stuff. And yeah, 100 days, fine. It's AP. If people want to go for it, that's their decision. Right, let me check our actual inventory here. We can only buy so few of these. So we now have 25 out of 25. If I buy another, what happens? Oh, it just doesn't spend any favor. Okay, that's fine then. So I don't have to be scared about over purchasing because it just stops dropping the thing. There you go. That's all the favor spent now. I might have spent a little bit much there, but yeah, 25, 25, 25, 21, but that's close enough. All right, good. When do we unlock the ability to buy more stuff from that guy? I really don't know.
Accelerating.
That's excellent. So there's Path of Fire then, I guess, now. Our little ramble about keybinds, a little bit on the guilds. How are you guys doing? You never had a reason to go here. Oh, it's a really cool place. It's got like a secret room and stuff in it as well that's not used for anything, but it's a cool place. You've become very disinterested lately to the usual challenging content, so I've been brainlessly running around farming wood, plant, and ore nodes with podcasts and music on in the background. It's one of the only farms in this game that sort of match the repetitive farms I used to do in Guild Wars 1. It's not necessarily interesting, but it's strangely is there something addictive about it, perhaps it's the simplicity. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The main game that I've been playing that's not Guild Wars, I'm not so into Solaris right now, though Distant Stars does look cool. The main game I'm playing that's not Guild Wars is Stardew Valley. And I know I'm a bit late with that, but the multiplayer beta just came out, right? So, oh, do you think we can kill all these inquests on this build? The Reaper handles this really easily. I don't know how well the Warrior does. Let's see. Full counters. If we get the right full counters, we should be alright, surely. A lot more fragile, but overall, I think they die quick enough because we're just a friggin' powerhouse of damage. Do we land that? Yeah, we did. Good. Good. That was actually really easy. Yeah. So in Stardew Valley, if you guys don't know, it's like a Harvest Moon style game where you just sort of you move to a town and you just do little things all the time. And a lot of that game is just about repetitive stuff. You know, every day there's a secret woods in that game, right? Where there's a resource that you can a type of wood that you need for lots of upgrades, but you can only get it from that woods, and there's only like a very small amount of it every day. So you go to the woods, you gather the stuff, you do some other things, you go to bed for the night, and then the next in-game day you go back to the woods and you gather some more, and you just do that in-game, not real life, but in-game, day in, day out, day in, over and over and over. You're just going to this little woods grinding. It's full-on grind. It's just go to the little tree stump and knock it down. There you go. You get a little bit more and you go back. But it's really relaxing and soothing because you know, just the start of the game acclimates you to that sort of situation, and it's relaxation, and the game never pretends to be anything different. And it's amazing how, like, I think Stardew Valley is a beautiful example of how the whole thing, you see it constantly on the internet. Oh, there's grind here, there's grind here. It's so weird to see people talking about that, because grind is such a nebulous, dumb thing to talk about, because really it just depends how the game packages itself and what it's advertising. And it's not really grind in Stardew, because that's what Stardew is, you know? You are a farmer. Your job is to water the crops every day. It's the same repetitive action every day, but it's a celebration of that, and it's an acknowledgement that there's something enjoyable about it, and it's packaged in a way that makes you want to do it, right? So, like, it's an especially weird thing to discuss, I think, a lot of the time. It's like almost completely pointless to judge a game on whether it has grind, because that's irrelevant. What is actually relevant is, are you enjoying yourself? It doesn't matter whether it's repetitive or not. And as humans, we do like that kind of thing sometimes, you know? All the dolphins. So it's just so strange how I find that the older I get and the more I like sort of circle various areas of discussion, I find so often Very little of what people... This is going to sound so stupid, but it's like... So much interpretation can affect... I don't have the language to describe what I'm trying to say right now. So instead of sound like a prat, I'm just going to move on. But it is interesting to see how people talk about things. And they don't realize that it's more just how the game communicates what it aims to be more than what is actually what you're doing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, let's play Path of Fire. You're not here to... No one's here to listen to friggin' Jaden Smith light ill-concocted observations about the world. You should look into Gravekeeper. It's an alpha right now, but it could be a good alternative later on if you want more Stardew-style experiences. Well, I've not played that much Stardew. I'm in year 2 summer at the moment, and I'm having fun with it. I do like games like that, though. I really do. What is mostly inspired me right now is I would love seasonal-based games like that, like Don't Starve. I got ultra into as well, as you guys know. And I love those kinds of experiences. Stardew and Don't Starve are very different in many ways, but they do have that kind of seasonal thing going on where you take a thin slice of exploration, but you augment it constantly by having an in-game seasons going on. And do you know what I really think a great future for the Elder Scrolls as a franchise should be? It should be going hard on that. I think the next province we go to of Tamriel should really focus on that side of the game. Like it should be an Elder Scrolls game through and through, but focusing on seasons and how the games and the NPC schedules and environments and stuff change as the years go by is great. Because they've always flirted with it, but never gone as hardcore as they could. And when you look at how beautiful games like Stardew and Don't Starve can accomplish that, I really think that's a beautiful marriage for that franchise. It would honestly blow people's minds. That's what they should... Just similar to how Fallout 4, Bethesda doubled down on the whole... Oh, we're going to do player housing and the furniture side of things. I think what Elder Scrolls, the next thing for it to double down on and really flirt with and play with it is that. Because it's kind of been ingrained in it always, you know? But it could be such a good experience. I want a serious RPG to look at what is great about those games and find a marriage of the two. Oh my god, we failed the Choya! What? Come on, I was hitting him pretty hard though. Dude, I've never seen that fail. Wow. Ever. That's cool though. I like that there's actually there's a gate to that. It's not just a mindless, brainless, idiotic thing. That's very, very cool. Oh, I think we messed up. Oh my god. Hold the phone. Always time for timey unlocks between every instance, doesn't it? But we didn't do always time for timey between this and this. Oh no. Have I messed this up? Have we missed one of the always time for timey in our big playthrough? I really like the always time for timies. Damn. You can always go back for timey in the story journal. Okay, good. All right. Well, let's do one of them now. I guess it would only make sense and be fair to do it in the Highlands. Let's see if there's one up at the mountains. That would be really cool. Let's go see the mountains. All right, people. Yeah. Okay, fine. Bit of an overreaction. Can't make some slack, right? I don't know what this game is anymore. I don't know what any of Guild Wars is outside of Heart of the Mists. And using Spectral Grasp on people. I don't understand what's going on. Is there actually a spot? Will it reveal before I unfog the area or no? What do you think, guys? I mean, the thing is, the mountain area is just so far away from the actual story. I mean, it's one of the reasons I love it, but it also makes me question whether they'd actually put an always time for timing up there. I guess we'll just see. Let's go on an exploration and find out. You haven't seen this Choya succeed for weeks. Well, it looks like we almost got it. You really haven't seen it almost succeed for weeks. That's crazy. Oh, by the way, I never even told anyone I'm streaming. Hold on. Let me throw out a tweet so that... God, I'm bad at this. Hold on. Let me... Right. That's one of my worst tweets ever. But there it is. On Discord. Oh, this is so bad. I have 24 notifications from Discord only where I've been added in various channels. From the Spud Club in Discord only. That's not DMs. That's not all the other things which dwarf it. Oh. General chat. Hi guys, it's me, Wood and Potatoes. I heard that the Spud Club is a Discord server that exists. Alright, there you go. Hopefully people join. So, such neglect. Sorry, Discord squad. Such neglect. Hey there, are your oven... You are oven-baked potatoes already. Oh, what? Because it's really hot. I'm oven-baked today? Yeah, sure, why not? WP, have you seen Altered Carbon? I just finished it. I feel like it was made for me. Recommend it if you like. Yeah, I talked about it when I watched it at Jules. I think that a lot of people say that it just got really bad in the last 3 episodes, but here's the truth about Altered Carbon. Every episode, it diminished in quality significantly. So I love the setting, and I really like what they were playing with, and it had me for the... I mean, I watched the whole season, but I was actually enjoying myself for the first few episodes, but it just went well off the rails, and I really, really think it's a terrible show. I personally wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but I do love the setting, and I do really, really think that sci-fi is lacking that kind of experience. It's just, yeah. The actual specifics of the characters we meet, how they speak to us, how they interact with the world, and what everything boils down to is, yeah, not exactly my cup of tea, let me just put it that way. But there's a lot to celebrate about it. Don't let me be a grump all the time. Oh, man. Getting a nasty full counter in PvE feels pretty good. I got myself distracted here, as I'm often want to do. We're looking for an always time for timey. I guess I'll go to the mines, and if we don't see an icon for one, we'll just bugger off. I guess. How is it hot when you're in the snow? That's a very good question. It's hot snow. It's melting very quickly. It's just that I don't know an answer. We weren't always in the snow. We only just got to the snow. Don't know if you heard, but the lazy peon is really into Guild Wars 2 at the moment and wants to make it his main game. Would be cool for visibility of Guild Wars 2 in 2018. Yeah, it's really interesting because that guy, like, how do I describe this? You know that game you can play on your mobile where you play as a little fish and you eat the bigger fish and you get bigger, and then you eat more little fish and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you eat more. He essentially did that with MMOs and grew just by flirting around and covering all the different MMOs. And it's amazing how now he's got the audience that he can come back to MMOs like this, which once upon a time would you know, relying on him. He was relying on their audience sizes to snowball, and now he can, like, in theory, infuse a ton of extra attention to the MMO. Do you get what I mean? Now he's the big fish. I think that's a really cool thing to see. And yeah, anything for visibility for the game, that'd be cool. I've never really followed the guy. I don't know anything about him except he's an MMO guy. And people are like, you should play. People have basically for all time told me to play other MMOs because, and basically be him, instead of just playing Guild Wars. He's like one of the main comparisons to me. Is he British? He might be British. That tends to make that happen a lot more. There's no always time for Tommy, I guess. I suppose the last place would be the temple, so I'll just try the temple. We have to go this way though, right? I remember doing a freaking stream here where we were looking for bounties quite recently, and I got stuck here for a long time, so yeah. Is Joko a lich, and what is a lich in Guild Wars? Good question. I think Joko is regarded as a lich, isn't he? I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the specifics on it. And what a lich specifically is also kind of hard to define. We know that Vizier Kilbron was said to turn into a lich by the Cataclysm. So, and in theory, the Lost Scrolls may have had something to do, and the magic that was there may have had something to do with Zhaitan. So, like, is lichdom inherently to do with the Risen or Zhaitan? Which could have been a really interesting angle. Remember, before Path of Fire, most of the discussion about Joko was not about Joko versus Branded. It was Joko versus Zhaitan and the remnants of Zhaitan's minions and stuff, or at least pre-release. And obviously that just never manifested into anything in the end. So I'm sure that the game will explore what it means to be a lich soon enough, like especially as we go more into Joko's origins and exactly where he came from. Whether he was alive when he was manipulating the two queens with the Scarab Plague, all of that stuff. You're pretty sure there is a timey spot near the Springer Ranch atop one of the tall stone formations. Okay, we could use that one then. I just want to unfog this just to be 100% clear. I may as well get the map exploration for this character anyway while I'm at it. And it is one of the coolest places. That pyramid is the very first pyramid you see in Path of Fire that's being sieged. It's pretty good. Nope. Of course, I say full counter feels good, but then NPCs move so weirdly and unpredictably, it feels pretty lame when you don't get it. That's been true of all those kind of counter mechanics in the game, though.
I'm ready.
Like there, I did that too early.
Kill him.
Let's watch this. Gorgeous. Oh man, the vistas in this are so good. Alright. No time for timey. So here's the thing, if there is one on top, it's not marked on my map anywhere. Which means that there could also be one over here and I just don't know. This is the potato that looks like a smug clown. The red bit is his nose. No, 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 no! It's his mouth. He's shouting. He's going, "Ooh!" The line at the bottom is not an unhappy mouth. That's his, like, double chin. The shape of the potato lends itself to a double chin there. And the other two things are his chubby cheeks. He's, like, fat and he's got his mouth open. He's maybe he's about to stuff something in there. I don't know. Alright, I'm trusting a random in Twitch chat here to see whether just maybe... there is a thing. So let's see. Don't hate me if I'm wrong. Oh, no, no, no. You're going to be banned from chat if you're wrong. Alan031. You do realize this. This is it. Like, your life's on the line. If you ever actually try and type in my chat, you're putting... There's a lot of risk in that. You're basically opening yourself to massive flaming and just hate. Just general hate. So, luckily for you, though, I can see on my minimap here that there is an icon. And you got away by the skin of your teeth here. It turns out you are correct, and there isn't always time for timey. So that doesn't mean I like you now. That just means you're okay. I'm indifferent to you. All right. Just be more careful in future next time you want to choose chat. Oh, it wasn't even your tip. Oh, really? Yeah, look, a mod is confirming that there. I'm not sure I actually know how to ban people on Twitch, but there you go. It's okay, guys. I'm good at this.
Timey, this is the commander.
There you are. I was worried you forgot about me. So, how'd it go with the gods? Did Ritlock behave?
Mostly. And it was God, singular. Cormier was the only divine being we found, and now she's gone too. On her way out, she pretty much told us we're on our own against Balthazar.
Ouch. How did Kaz take that?
No, better than you'd expect. Cormier told us we had to find answers on our own, so that's what we're going to do. We've split up to search the desert for something, anything that can help us against Balthazar.
That doesn't spell plan to me. That's just the letter P, scrawled on a rock, in pink chalk.
Maybe I should ask a genius to come up with something better. Oh, wait, I just did. Your thoughts, genius?
Well, give me a minute. You can't rush inspiration, you know.
Oh, I know. How's Aurene?
According to Kate, restless. Aurene keeps trying to fly. Takeoff and landing are still a challenge, but... Well, she's actually getting pretty good at it. You know, in short bursts around the interior of the egg chamber. But it's not fun playtime flight. From what Kate says, it's more Sparkfly trying to break out of a killing jar flight.
Well, keep her calm. And don't let her go exploring by herself. The last thing we need is to lose track of her.
Noted. I'll pass that along to Kate, too. We'll do our best.
And don't antagonize Keith.
Say again? Breaking up. No promises. Define antagonize. Ding! Time's up.
Okay. You know, it occurs to me that all the discussion and critique and whatnot that we did about the egg chamber scenario, not the egg chamber scenario, sorry, the the Library of the Mist scenario, a lot of that could have been lampshaded, addressed, skirted around, talked in this always time for timing conversation, which wouldn't have been an immaculate solution because most players will obviously miss these. That's more an issue, not with the story though, with the game's delivery and handling of achievements and that being cluttered out by all the other stuff, and most players not caring about AP at this point, which isn't on the narrative team. But yeah, they could have done a lot more. So they kind of do, because they're like, oh, you've not got a pet plan, but I don't know. They kind of missed a bit of an opportunity there, maybe. I like that conversation in that it focused a lot more on Kate, because she's so easy to forget. We've talked about this in previous Always Time for the Timies, that it's like Kate she doesn't appear in this expansion at all, and yet we do get that development via this. I would loved if Kate had actually interrupted on some of these and said, oh, hello, Commander. I guess that there's a logistical thing of getting a voice actor in to do such a minor thing like that, though, right? I guess. But that might have been kind of nice. I'm not really sure I have much else to say. How'd it go? Did Ritlock behave? Yeah, it's just cute, fun, timey stuff, I guess. Cormier told us we had to find answers on our own. So our player's interpretation of all that cryptic nonsense is to search for ourselves. But, I mean, that's not really the cryptic... Look how good this water looks. It's not really the cryptic... I think because it's so hot IRL right now, this looks especially nice to me. I think it's not all the cryptic stuff, though. Cormier basically did say you were already on the path, right? The insights about Aurene learning to fly are curious. It hadn't struck me, but I guess... The first time we saw Aurene flying is in the upcoming instance that shall not be named yet because of spoilers, right? But it was in Path of Fire. Was that the first time we actually saw her flying?
Such might.
That's weird because I had no recollection that that was a profound part of the story. I guess it is. Do people really care? Oh my god, the 10k freaking throw axe when you hit people at low enough health. I wonder why ArenaNet were like, yeah, warriors can get a ranged Heartseeker, but thieves don't. Don't get any buffs. Like, they almost gave it. Anyway. Yeah, I don't... Like, the idea of your pet dragon learning to fly, that's huge. And, maybe that was a misbeat. Maybe that's my own ineptitude with caring about Aurene and whatnot. I don't know. Amnoon's Bay looks like heaven right now. Oh, I bet it does. We're actually about to go back to Amnoon, because one of the strongest parts of POF, in my opinion, is coming up now, and that is the optional moment to come back to the city, which is unquestionably what makes RPGs great. You need to be able to return to these places. It needs to feel like a real, living, breathing world where we come and circle back to key locations. It's not just an excuse for a world tour. The devs learned this extremely well in Nightfall in Guild Wars 1, where we circled back to Istan and the Sunspear Sanctuary and whatnot on several different occasions, as and when the plot called for it. And here we do that now. We get to go back to the town and catch up a little bit on Zalambur, on the casino. Unfortunately, this is optional, which I don't think they should have this. I don't know why they're so scared that this has to be optional. I mean, I like the optional things, I do, and I think, you know, that gives the illusion of choice and freedom and liberty, which, you know, you need for these kind of games. But this, I feel like, should have been this should be Golden Path stuff. This should be like, boom, everybody comes back. They all get that experience. They all get to remember that choice they made earlier. Did they sell everyone out to the Sunspears? Did they... Wow, did that script just fall over? Did they sell people out to the Sunspears? Not the Sunspears, the Awakened. Did they put their faith in this fragmented, ill, you know, equipped faction, the Sunspears? Did they leave them to fight for themselves? See the NPCs wandering around and enjoy some of that a little bit more. You get so much more value out of the environments you build, the NPCs you populate them with, and all that kind of stuff, if you just have people loop back a bit. And it's not tacky, it's not lazy design, it makes Tyria feel real. I really like these moments, and this is the only one in all of POF they do, so it gets credit for being that, but it loses points because it's not enough, I think. So anyway, we'll see. We're going to speak to Zalambur before entering the Ellen Riverlands. And even this, I wonder whether this was really a big push from the writers, or they just felt like it might make sense because geographically we were coming back through the Oasis. I mean, the Guild Wars is always going to be limited in its capacity to give you that feeling on an adventure because of the whole waypoint system, but, you know, most players are going to go immediately from here to here. They're just going to. We can't donate bits. No, I don't have bits enabled. I don't really know what that is or how it works, and I don't feel like I'm a good enough or frequent enough streamer to basically try and filch money off of all of you in every way I can. So, if you do want to donate, that is available, and it does proc on the screen, and I'll read it, and you'll make me very happy. But aside from that, it's pretty simple around here. Okay, so Zanambur. I guess I gotta put my headset on. Here we go. It's gonna get hot, but it's a small scene.
Commander. A little bird told me you and your friends went on a pilgrimage to the mists. I am pleased and a little surprised to see that you survived the journey. What can I do for you?
We're combing the desert in search of something.
You're in luck. I have loads of something. You're welcome to peruse it at your leisure. This is the part where you clarify your statement and tell me what you're actually looking for.
What do you know about the Riverlands? Are there any peculiarities I should know about?
Well, there's a lot of history in those parts. Kind of history that attracts treasure hunters. Occasionally, one would pass through the Grand Sahil on their way south. Eyes alight with visions of gold and glory.
Did they find anything?
Don't know, I'm afraid. But I know someone who might. A Derman Priory scholar stationed out that way. Name of Gluck. If anybody can point you in the right direction, it'd be him. Good luck.
See, this is cool. This whole thing with the Priory, right? I would love... We get a tiny... I remember when the Path of Fire betas came out. Were they betas? What were they? We were exploring the maps, right? And on the docks, it had the consortium trying to unload stuff, and we have that event there. And there's also that little bit of information about the Priory. And we do hear, through very small anecdotes and places, that basically the Priory came to the Crystal Desert before us. And this is why there are waypoints here now. This is why people are a little bit more familiar with the Asura. Essentially, what the writers did was they said, look, we've got so much to tackle. Let's not also try to tackle the idea of these cultures merging and the breakup. Because there's a profound thing going on, really, at core. If you look at it, most of what the humans say up in Divinity's Reach, at the Ossen Quarter and stuff, it's like, wow, we've not seen these humans for years. I wonder what it's like. I want to go home. I want to see what this is like. And you got the Asura visit in there. You got the Norn visit in there. There's a whole other side of Path of Fire that they could have emphasized, which is, holy shit, what does a citizen of the Amnoon Oasis think of a Norn? What does it think of a Char? What does it think of this? And we get a little bit in the season, obviously, with the Almacan and stuff. And that's the whole thing. But it's very de-emphasized by Path of Fire. And I believe that they should have de-emphasized it, absolutely, because there's just so much going on, right? Too much content to deliver and story. So basically, they just give you this idea that instead of focusing on it, they say, oh, yeah, they came through earlier. They filtered the waypoints around. They did that stuff. So here we hear Zanambur talking very casually and candidly about the Derman Priory. But he doesn't go any deeper. Like, this could have been an opportunity for him to be like, yeah, those Priory guys, what did you say they're here for? What, they fight the Elder Dragons? I don't really know them, blah, blah, blah. You know, but he seems ultimately very, very familiar with them straight away. And, you know, I find moments of that kind of cool. Or curious, I suppose. He also put some emphasis on this scholar, but that's just a heart NPC, I think, in the end, so it doesn't really mean very much. And then, yeah, this bomb, someone mentioned it in chat. Ah, Commander, a little bird told me you and your friends went on a pilgrimage to the mists. Do you guys think that's serious? Is this line here just to make the Order of Shadows seem all-knowing and to... you know, filter out a little bit more, oh, we should be impressed by them, we should realize things are going on? Or are we supposed to think about the specifics of the little bird? Like, is the little bird a Season 3 character? Is the little bird, like, are the because that's a weird thing, if you actually try and think about it. How did they know that we went into the wait, hold on, we were in a remote area of the Salt Flats at Glint's Lair in a freaking, in a grain of sand or whatever, you know, after the portal. We come out, we head a tiny bit north to an ancient ruin that no one is around except ghosts. We go past the ghosts into the depths of this. Who's followed us there? What? Like, do you know what I mean? So, and who did we tell? It's, if you think about the specifics, this falls apart. So I wonder, is that bad writing? that they write a line in here to make us impressed by the Order of Shadows, but throw all actual reasonable suspension of disbelief to the wind? Or is it so absurd that we're meant to think about it? Do you get what I mean? Which one is it? Because it is a strange thing. Casimir told people about the visit in the temple? Continuity errors and bad writing are rife in this game, so I'm going to go for bad writing, says Cherry Tunes. I'm not that cynical, especially not lately. I think you'd be right to lay those accusations. It was worse in Season 1. The worst that this franchise has ever been for storytelling is Prophecies and then Season 1. Like, in order of worst, it goes Prophecies, Season 1, Factions. But the Factions world building was really good, so it's kind of... I don't know. But I don't know whether... maybe they do want us to think about this. I love that you started the stream saying you didn't want to go in it to be a big thing, and now you're trying to analyze the little bird comment. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just love Game of Thrones, and they want to throw a little bit of a thing in there, right? I don't know. But they have it, guys. In the personal story for Priory, don't they reference the Crystal Desert and Priory actively exploring? Yeah, there are a couple of mentions. You're right about that, but I think the idea is en masse a lot of the races of Tyria have arrived quite soon. I mean, we don't even have a definite answer to that, and I think, you know, maybe that's a failing of POF, maybe having a definite answer on exactly when and how all these interactions became a thing. But, like, what does Path of Fire open with? Us looking at pyramids and saying, what the shit, there's pyramids? And they say, well, we've been cut off from this for ages. We didn't know how much stuff they'd built. So it obviously wasn't that common knowledge what was going on in the Crystal Desert, despite the known Zephyrite visit, despite the known, you know, brief mentions. And there is a Priory mention about it. There is, you're right. Okay, we don't unlock it always time for timey from speaking to Zullambur, do we? That would be quite impressive if they did that. I doubt it, though. I don't think the personal story is that great, but I think taking all the different branches of the personal story does a great job of world building. Yeah, if you could encapsulate the spirit of the personal story, it's brilliant. But the moment to moment is terrible. Cantha's the same. Factions, the spirit of Factions, the setting, the world building, the body of work that went into describing their culture, who they are, how they act, where they're seated in the world, all of that stuff. The premise of the plot, all of that stuff is phenomenal. It's really cool. An assassin in a culture that applauds assassins publicly, who is misled, and you know, all that beautiful high fantasy stuff about the Harvest Set Temple, and you know, just that cut. All you have to do is watch the CGI cutscene for Factions to realize how great that setting is and what was thought for that. That's all fantastic, but Factions has terrible execution issues. Terrible meandering plot that goes in random directions with the Urn of St. Victor and the spear. Awful voice acting, clunky, disjointed, so thin on the ground. It's the personal story. Both they're exactly the same. Factions and the personal story. Both also attempting delivering branching stories and biting off more than they can chew. I'm sure Factions would have been better if there were no factions. If it wasn't Jade Sea or Kurzik and they didn't like start spreading it. Factions in many ways is like a precursor sign as to the train wreck that the personal story became. It really is. It's kind of beautiful to see, actually. No, Nightfall is the pinnacle. Nightfall is the pinnacle. But I mean, I don't know though. It's Path of Fire and Heart of Thorns are also extremely good too, and Season 3 and 4. I think as a product as a whole though, Nightfall is better. Just with the way all of the game systems integrate with that, the heroes coming along at the same time, the skills, the exploration, the pace of everything all together, Nightfall is better. But if you isolate various aspects, I think in isolation, obviously the graphics, the environment, the storytelling, the freedom of movement, all that shit in Guild Wars 2 is way better. So, you know, and not just way better, but infinitely, monumentally better. Almost to the point where this isn't even a discussion. Guild Wars 1 is like a clunky little piece of crud on your shoe compared to Guild Wars 2. In terms of, like, its presentation of stuff. And that just comes from the fact that one's a 2005 release, one's a 2012, most recently 2018 release. Alright, I guess we'll just go south. Let me read the recap here as well. I don't want to miss anything. So we're on the way forwards, facing the truth. We entered the portal at the Tomb of the Primeval Kings only to be separated and transported to a strange, desolate landscape. That separated bit wasn't really much a mechanic in the end, was it? After searching the area, I was able to reunite with the others and discovered a mysterious puzzle that had been hidden by a sandstorm. Casimir believed the puzzle to be a challenge set by the gods, and she was proven right. After completing the puzzle, a portal opened up before us, leading us to, perhaps, the gods? This is weird. Who wrote these story journals? We entered the portal and found ourselves in a library, unlike any I've ever seen. We came hoping to find the gods, but Cormir, the goddess of truth, was the only deity we found. She granted us an audience in her sanctum and answered some of our questions, but in this case, the truth was hard to hear. Oh, this is tacky. Cormir told us the gods... What truth? Cormir's told us the gods had left Tyria completely to avoid a cataclysmic battle with the Elder Dragons that would have destroyed the world they were trying to persevere. This, by the way, this sentence... The devs are absolutely right to put that in the story journal. That is the most tangible, confirmed clarification that came out of that instance. The connecting of the Gate of Madness stuff with their decision to leave because of the Elder Dragons. No longer the realm of speculation, but the realm of concrete law. That is what that instance gave us. This sentence. As Cormir described it, Balthazar refused to accept this decision and went so far as to threaten the other gods if they went through with their plan. In response, the rest of the six stripped Balthazar of his power and chained him in the mists, where he remained until Ritlock unwittingly released him. Listen to this. This is the plot of Guild Wars Nightfall, hand-waved in one sentence. He was chained in the mists, where he remained until Ritlock unwittingly released him. Can you imagine Ritlock happening upon Abaddon and just randomly releasing him? I want you all to picture that. Either Ritlock is much more of an immense baller than we realize, or something's a bit off. Once freed, Balthazar set out to recover his lost power, defeat the Elder Dragons, and claim their magic for himself in order to take vengeance on the other gods for imprisoning him. Also, here in the story journal, the devs are telling us that the rampage is all about revenge for the imprisonment. But in the cutscene, they had him being a ludicrous nutter before he was even imprisoned. Cormir concluded by saying the other gods were long gone, and she was about to follow them, so they could not and would not help us against Balthazar. I don't like this. In the story journal, they should have gone a bit further. Long gone where? That's a huge question, right? And it feels like it's being hand-waved, but it should be celebrated. That big question should be emphasized, celebrated, and remained as a mystery, right? Not hand-waved. Oh, they're just gone. I'm going to go with them. Like, they focus on the fact she's leaving rather than the fact that everyone's already left. So they could not and would not help us against Balthazar. Because, like, they're trying to draw a connection. That, like, what they're implicitly seeming to suggest is that the gods' decision to not battle the Elder Dragons... precluded isn't the right word, is it? Their decision to not battle the Elder Dragons means they're now leaving. Like, that's what they're implying, but obviously that implication doesn't lead anywhere. That doesn't have to be true. They could stay in the mists and look over humanity and whatnot in the same capacity they always did without fully diving into the Elder Dragon conflict. This thing of them leaving wasn't emphasized, I think, well enough. Learning the gods abandoned Tyria was painful, especially for Casimir, but she ultimately accepted that. As Cormir pointed out, the time for prayers is past. This is really good as well. Cormir is the audience. Cormir is your average Guild Wars 2 lore enthusiast. Cormir is the fans. Cormir doesn't like that the gods are leaving. So Cormir and how she's handled in that... sorry, I'm an idiot. Casimir. Jesus. Casimir is the fans. Casimir is the Guild Wars 2 lore enthusiast. Casimir is upset that the gods are leaving, like many fans are as well. Lots of fans wanted Path of Fire to be a moment where they moved back on the movement of the world. They turned their back on that and said, yeah, we're going to go crazy with the gods. But the devs are doubling down on the gods leaving the story thing. So, not fully. We know that there'll probably be more god influence coming up, but that whole de-emphasis side from the movement of the world is clearly reinforced here. Casimir is learning that, and it's painful for the fans to hear that. And so Casimir it's painful for her to hear. So they could have really pushed harder in the library scene on that whole side of the story as well, where it's like Casimir... Like here, the journal says... Learning the gods had abandoned Tyria was painful, especially for Casimir. Was it? Let's look back at Casimir's dialogue. She kicked up a little bit of a fuss, but not much more. They could have gone crazy with that in the library. They could have had Casimir screaming and wailing and, like... I hate you, what? You know, properly losing her faith, but you can't do that in a 5-minute instance. Do you know what? Nearly every single issue with the story, if you can call that, or wriggle, or congested moment, every single one can be just boiled down to, yeah, but you can't do that in a 5-minute instance. Yeah, we could have gone hard with that, but you can't do that in a 5-minute instance. Yeah, we could have talked about this more, but you can't do that in a 5-minute instance. Yeah, we wanted to show this side of things, but you can't do it in a 5-minute instance. Every single time. Don't make your MMO about story, ladies and gents. You will be far too constrained. Learning the gods' abandoned Tyria was especially painful, especially for Kazmir, but she ultimately accepted that, as Cormir pointed out, the time for prayers passed. Because the ideal scenario is that when Kazmir accepts it, we, the audience, accept it with her. And we might not be happy, and Kazmir might not be happy, but we feel like we've had our voice in the game and we've come to that resolution together, right? That's the idea. But you can't do that in a 5-minute instance. This world belongs to us mortals now, and it's our responsibility to defend it. That line is basically a rehash of what we heard in Nightfall. And again, just driving that home, what we heard at the Gate of Madness so many years ago, back in 2006, the gods are taking a backseat. Before she left to reunite with her fellow gods, Cormir provided us a single bit of guidance in our fight against Balthazar, to seek answers in the desert. It's not much to go on. But I've instructed the team to split up and such. I actually like this. I think this is fine. I think this is cool. I like that they do this. Because, again, that's almost a celebration of the fact she's not given us any information. They don't like... They could have written this in another way where it's like they act like Cormir gives us this big revelation. They could have easily written this, that Cormir tells us to go to a certain NPC who then leads us to Kesho. And now it's like Cormir is a good guy. And look, she did help us. And even though she's... They could have easily done that. But they leave us in the cold and they really double down on it. And I like that. I think that makes it work better. For me, anyway. They just literally tell us find answers in a desert. Like, that's the most destitute you can feel. Go scour a desert is like, it's almost poetry. It's not much to go on, but I've instructed the team to split up and search. Kazmir will go north. Like, listen to this plan. Kazmir, just go north. Interesting, then, that if we ever do get a Living World update, we were here at the Tomb of the Primeval Kings that gives us the Ebonhawk map. Kazmir might have been there. That's a curiosity, don't you guys think? Before she left to reunite with her fellow gods, Cormir provided a single bit, blah, 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 blah. Kazmir's going north. Kanak and Ritlock will ask Kanak's contacts in the Order of Shadows, and I'll head south to scour the Riverlands. Balthazar's our problem to solve. I don't like this again. It's not our problem exclusively. And while knowing the solution is out there isn't as good as knowing the solution itself, it's a start. This last line in the story journal seems to suggest that all of her cryptic stuff was about taking down Balthazar, not the Elder Dragons, by the way. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Story journal. We're now done. Don't you guys just love this painstakingly slow, gritty, overly analytical, overly, like poetry,
right.
But it doesn't rhyme.
Now where do I start? Maybe a scout can point me in the right direction.
Alright, so a scout. Like maybe this guy. It's Herder Tarek. I love this.
Followers of Ascension are constantly seeking different methods to reach Ascension. Follower Zune and his golem collect forgotten glyphs in hopes of decoding their secrets. Follower Dawnwind fights to clear Augury Rock of the Branded in an effort to further her legend. And follower Adisa searches for slivers of Last for follower Lucius Anvilblade to weaponize. At Augury's Shadow are several other Tyrians who have come to seek Ascension. West of there is the first camp, where you'll find followers that were here before the Tyrians arrived. Far to the south are refugees from Joko's kingdom. They may know of other places of power.
Okay, so there you go. So this bit actually does deal a bit more with that whole blending of the cultures, right? Because the Tyrians coming for Ascension. I can't wait till the Let's Play gets here, because we're going to have so much fun showing off the meta and all the Guild Wars 1 skills and stuff. Oh, it's going to be great. Right. Kaidena is traveling to the Ustulate Barrens in search of a source of forgotten energy. Augury Rock is closed. Let's speak to some people. So we just run around chatting with people. I don't know the golden path easiest thing. So by the way, basically, if I remember from one of the developer streams, I might not correctly remember. Costage hasn't been at one of these for a while, so I could be on my own here for clarification. But if I remember rightly from one of the dev streams, there is a single NPC we can just speak to and we're done straight away. Or something like that. Like if you know who to speak to, you can get to Kesho immediately. So this isn't like an on-rails have to do this order fumbling. You are when our player character is fumbling around, that's you, the human being behind the mouse and keyboard, that's fumbling around. And that matchup is gorgeous. I really like that. I think Guild Wars should do it more. These are the kind of options and branches, by the way, that I think RPGs do well. This is the kind of choice that I think RPGs should give you, and mechanical choices like what weapons you want to get and stuff like that. I don't think that they need to go any crazier than that. Let's throw our axe there. 3k.
Excuse me. Do you have a moment?
Okay, Bakri. A group of explorers went in search of buried treasure and haven't returned. Can you check on them? They might be in trouble.
I return to the air.
Christ, I don't know what we should do, really. His follower, Zune.
Aren't you the Pact Commander? It's a pleasure to meet you. The name's Zune. Big fan of your work. Something I can help you with?
I'm looking for an associate of yours named Glock. I'm told he has some information I need.
Oh, no. Is he missing again? Again? I don't think I've ever met a more distractible Asura. Here, I'll mark them on your map. Hope that gets you where you need to go.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I would totally be this Scholar Glock, though. He's what a boss.
Again. Big fan. Don't die out there in the wastes.
Big fan. Don't die out there in the wastes. Brilliant. By the way, I noticed Ewendell 20 minutes ago. I'm so sorry, dude.
Yet again, I must ask. Why is this?
I missed it, dude. Thank you very much. I was just you donated £5. Thanks so much, man. I missed that. I really do apologize. I was just having a completely independent thought that I should donate a little money. Absolutely original thought right there. No external influence whatsoever. Did you do that because we were talking about bits? Was that all the way back then? Well, anyway, thanks, dude. I went with this ability here because it's 2 hits, and if I was blinded, one would be ripped and the other would hit. Yeah, that Asura's voice is pretty cool. Alright, so what order do I want to do this in? This is actually going to be a bit nuts. Let's go immediately south to the camp. When I first played this, I think I went up around this way. But let's just go straight here. I feel like this is where it's trying to get us to go. So we see another mount aspect of the game, which is very cool and exciting. I can't actually demonstrate to you guys properly, though, because the entire system is account bound. So let's just pretend that this is a new interesting obstacle, and we've got a little bit of more desire to get a new pet here. But here we go, or a mount, I should say. So we stand in this. Oh, look, it hurts the raptor. Oh, my God. He sees... Oh, wait. No, we got CC'd because it died, because it got hit at the same time, right? So, yeah, we're going to have to raptor jump over that. But we're already subtly in the back of our brains now thinking, oh, a skimmer would be nice. That would be cool. Oh, what? What hit me there at the last second? Oh, it's an earth elemental up there. Really? And he's stopping me from remounting as well. That's unbelievable. I wanted my Hammerstein trade cash. Damn it. Alright, let's just balls rush through that. Ow. Come on. Up, up, up. Get out. Okay, good. We're fine. So yeah, we got this camp. Is this immediately the Ascension camp? I thought the Ascension camp was over here. First camp. What's this one called? This is called... It's not a point of interest at all. By the way, just by the way for people...
What was that?
If you guys are curious in fat stacks of cash from Path of Fire, I'm thinking about doing a stream on this. And if you enjoyed grinding on greens in Guild Wars 1, you might just be interested in the this map right now and the bounty boards on this map. The Awakened Abomination is worth 3,000 gold. It has several buy orders of over $1,000. This is like hitting the jackpot right now. This is worth more than hitting a jackpot, killing Doom and getting the throne, which you can only do once per week. This you can do in perpetuity as long as it keeps spawning. So yeah, very expensive, and even better in the Desolation. there is another bounty for the Junundu worm, which is the rarest mini in the game at the moment, worth a whopping 4,000 gold. This is really strong, awesome stuff of the Path of Fire economy, in my opinion. I think it's excellent farm. It's exciting. This is what MMOs thrive on, and most people don't even know it's a thing. So, yeah. Preview it. Who cares about previewing it? It's about that sweet cash. I mean, the Junundu worm is pretty cool. Let's be honest. It is pretty cool. But yeah, so do look at the bounties.
And you've proven you're old enough to handle anything, including the truth about...
They're random drops from killing the bounties, yes. Very specific bounties. You have to kill, like, a very specific bounty. One of them's here in the Riverlands, the other one's in the Desolation a little bit later.
Why don't we go look for them?
I did go back, and I found them. But they were... I did what I had to do. What I know they would have done for me.
Then we really are the last of the Anvil Warband. What do we do now?
We honor their memory by making sure the Anvil Warband lives on. You and me.
Wow, very similar to the whole Almora story there. I don't like how this baby Char sounds exactly like Timey. I think it's Timey.
Driven insane by ley energy are coming from all over.
But yeah, hey, so the Anvil Warband.
New arrival. Come to help the followers of Ascension? We could use a pair of hands like yours. Maybe later. For now, I need information. I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind? Vlast? Only that he's from here, but that's about it. That's all I know. I'm new here. It's no problem. So am I. You know, come to think of it, follower Adisa knows more about Vlast than any of us.
Yeah, nearly no one does the Junundu Rising, that's the thing. I love this, by the way. Just speaking to, I kind of want to draw a comparison for something here for you guys. Speaking to a Char casually like this out in the desert in the middle of this god storyline and stuff, for Guild Wars 2, most of you probably won't be very struck by that or like have any real feelings. Because obviously it's Guild Wars 2 and there's the 5 races and it's always been like this. But the idea that a Char is involved with the Ascension stuff is like... It tickles my brain in the best way. I really enjoy it. Like, for example, in Guild Wars 1, you start the game and you're dealing heavy with a Char in pre-searing, right? Or pre-searing was more like this, right? You're dealing heavily with a Char, and then you go into post-searing, you're dealing heavily with a Char. Then you cross the mountains, and the Char are, like, not a thing anymore. Right? There's no Char influence in the story here. 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 There's not much Char influence in the story here. Right at the end, you return to Ascalon a little bit, and there's some Char influence. But really, that's it. Then Factions and Nightfall Factions comes out in Cantha. There's no Char influence in the story there, really. I think there might have been one Char in Kaineng or something, maybe? Might not even be. I might be thinking of another race. But there's really very little. Then Nightfall comes out. There's no Char here. There's no Char here, really. There's no Char influence here. No Char influence here. And then finally in Nightfall, can I just be clear? When you finally get into the realm of torment in Nightfall, there's a couple of quests involving Char spirits, and there are some Char spirits around, and they talk about how they were in awe and they died, and now they're suddenly in the realm of torment and they don't know what's going on. And there's a couple of Char, and right there at the end of Nightfall, it was like this really profound, weird thing to be like, oh my god, yeah, Char around here. I wonder what the Char would think about this. I'm like, and they're still like teetering on that air of being villains at that point too. After that, Eye of the North comes out and expands on their culture in tons of ways and does lots of amazing stuff for the world building, and we interact with them more. But, like, the point is that a fan of this franchise's associations with this region of the world don't gel at all on any level, really, with the Char. You don't think about the Char when you think about Chiriosa coming to seek Ascension and stuff. And here we are in Guild Wars 2, and there's a fucking Char casually talking about the Ascension rituals and stuff, and it's just, and the idea of his warband here and all of that, and it's just kind of really beautiful and weird and profound and strange and nice. So yeah, I kind of want to share that with you guys, because a lot of you in chat, I'm sure, have got no appreciation for that or consideration for that whatsoever, but I kind of do as someone that's embedded in it for this length of time, you know. As a Char main, I was like, what is this Char doing here in a good way? Yeah, exactly, right? And that's the point. Like, any Char main could be here, so you want those experiences for those Char mains. Definitely. I'm not even a Char main. I wasn't a Char main on my first time through. I haven't played a Char in Path of Fire yet, but... Or have I? I can't remember. But, you know, I appreciate that he's there. It's great. And, like, it's the same is true for the Asura as well, for what it's worth, and the Sylvari and stuff. Probably the Char are most... I get most impact from the Char, though, because the Sylvari weren't introduced until Eye of the North, really. The Norn weren't introduced till Eye of the North. The Asura weren't introduced till Eye of the North. But the Char were. So, like, the Char, there's that added flavor there, because the Char were always a part of the world, but never introduced to this area of the world until now. And seeing an Asura here, it's like, well, that's Guild Wars 2. The Asura didn't exist when this content was first created, so... Do you get what I mean? So maybe that sort of adds to it, that stacks on top of it. Anyway, we got our insight from that dude. What else? It's still got a green ring around here. Does that mean they want us to do the heart? Ask around the Ellen Riverlands for any more useful information? I guess not. Do any of the Followers of Ascension want to talk to us?
Yeah.
This was amazing, by the way, for me. When I first played Path of Fire, I loved this. Obviously, Augury Rock. Going into Path of Fire, I didn't know what capacity Augury Rock would be emphasized by the game. You know, it could have been a huge part of the plot. Who knows? So I was really looking forward to seeing Augury Rock. When I actually first played Path of Fire, I was expecting Augury Rock to be like here, which was odd. But what you have to understand is in Guild Wars 1, you arrive in the desert at the Amnoon Oasis. And then you just basically move across and Augury Rock is there. So I didn't realize that it was actually more south and whatnot, and the locations had slightly shifted. They haven't actually shifted, it's just my perspective shifted because of where Amnoon has grown as a city to the side of it and whatnot. So, like, I was wondering if Amnoon wasn't even in POF kind of thing, and then realizing it's to the south and that there's this entire meta event and all these NPCs and things all associated with it. It's not a part of the core narrative, but we interact with the people around it at this moment, and I really, really like that. That added so much to me here. I was well and truly in on the game and very, very much vibing on POF when I got to this place. It's just so exciting. I've got a video where I talked about that at the time and the aesthetics of the place, but it's still very cool. Right. Flint is going to the first camp. Shall we just do the meta at the same time? What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see me do the meta at the same time, or do you want to see me just go straight to more vast dialogue and story and core narrative? What do you want to see, guys? That's a good question. WP, tell him, please. What's this? What is the Ascension? So,
I don't believe it. All these people are being cheated. We have to help. Lucia said I had to keep out of trouble. I know. You could help me gather evidence. I'm sure that would be okay.
Okay, so that's the start of it. Hi, I just wanted to say hi and thanks for all your videos. I've been a long-time viewer of your videos on YouTube, and I appreciate your dedication to make videos on this game, especially the recent series on the personal story. Thanks very much, man. I'm going to have a new episode for you very soon. I had to re-record a ton of Sylvari stuff, and I've got part 1. I need to edit it and then upload it, and then render it and upload it tonight, but it will be up. Probably maybe 7 to 9 hours from now. Right, yeah, what is Ascension? Well, the idea was for the humans that it meant becoming closer to the gods, closer to the mists, I guess, to an extent. Bestows upon people the gift of true sight, which helps us to see the Masat. It was like this lofty, ambitious goal that basically everyone failed in, you have to understand. But it was enacted in this giant golden chamber hidden within that augury, that rock up there. Oh yeah, look, these kids will teach you.
If it isn't Anaya and Vinyum, what brings you here?
We're playing Ascension. I'm Devona the Warrior. Binyam is Aiden the Ranger. He wanted to be Lo Shah, but we couldn't find a mask.
You're a ghostly hero at the Temple of Ascension. We'll protect you from the Forgotten.
That's right. The Forgotten fought heroes who tried to ascend to test the humans' characters. So be careful.
Here they come! Sever arteries! Gash! Galrad slash! Ha! That got him.
Here comes a siege worm, and I'm on it. Lightning reflexes. Ignite arrows! Barrage!
You two made quick work of them. The gaze of the gods will shine on you. Ah, to be young again.
Okay, sorry, I was
How
just...
we could reach Alona from Alona Reach. Get it?
Haha, very funny.
Man, I love the audio processing there. She sounded like she was running away, and she actually was. We're going to keep listening. These are all Guild Wars 1 skills and builds.
Hey, Emika. We're playing Trials of Ascension. Is this Alona Reach?
Why, yes it is. There's a vision crystal here with your name on it. Just bring it back.
I'm gonna be Menlo this time. You carry the vision crystal, and I'll protect you.
Then I'm Sin. You better protect me, or else I'll meteor storm you instead of the Forgotten. There's the crystal! Ah! I'm crippled by a splinter mine! Help me, Menlo!
Draw conditions. Purge Signet. Get to the dais, I'll hold them off.
Great job, kids. I mean, heroes. Here's one vision crystal as promised.
You want me to rate their builds? I will. We'll listen to all the dialogue
Thirsty
first.
River is the hardest ascension trial. Josso Escher is there, and he's a big, scary Forgotten.
I'm not scared. You're scared.
Man, I love that they made Josso a big shot in the lore, because he was really hard when I soloed Thirsty River. If you watch me solo Thirsty River in my original LP...
Whoa! Slow down! What's got you two
He's like a nobody.
We're not scared of you, Josso Escher. We'll beat the trial of Thirsty River.
Ah, playing Ascension again. Well then, Forgotten, make sure they fail their trial.
I'm Eve, and for every Forgotten who falls, one of my minions will rise. Aura of the Lich!
I'm Menlo, and I'll keep them alive. Heal area, heal party, healing seed.
Oh, by Glint herself, I can't possibly overcome these heroes.
Yay, we defeated him! Now we can enter Augury Rock.
Say hello to your folks for me.
Will do, thanks.
Alright, we're gonna keep... It's so good how much dialogue they added, by the way. This is heaven for any GW1 player, obviously.
Look who's returned. How was your adventure?
We're not done yet. We passed the trials, but we still have to enter Augury Rock.
Then we can fight the evil doppelganger. Dun dun dun.
Well, don't let us slow you down. Step on these 3 runes and Augury Rock will open.
Ooh, they got every detail down. Every single detail.
Problems ascending? I've got the solution. Come see the miracle for yourself.
Are we going in? I mean, I really adore how much detail they put in, because I don't even know how...
Okay, Nayala. You're the doppelganger, and we're here to defeat you.
Prepare yourselves. Any skills you can do, I can do too.
I'm gonna use Eve's necromancer skills.
I am Aiden the Ranger, and I'll lure you into my traps. Barb trap, flame trap, spike trap. Ha!
Necro skills, Anaya? Duplicated. Blood is power. Signet of agony. Dark pact. Oh no!
Ha! You fell for it! You sacrificed too much health, and now you're stuck in his spike trap. You're dead!
Sigh. The doppelganger is defeated. Good work, kids. You are now ascended.
That was fun. Next time, I'll be Little Tom, the Axe Warrior.
Deal. But only if I get to be Menlo the monk. I don't care if he's a boy. I'll be a boy too.
Boom. Alright, I think that's all of it. This is horrible, because there's about a million things I want to say about each line, and we just don't get time. Alright, I think they're done. Okay, so rate their builds. Let's do it, baby.
Come see the miracle for yourself.
They're talking about Ascension elsewhere. Right, first of all, yeah. Benji's right that their skill order at the start, and I'm sure this is intentional as a joke. Where is it? I'm Sin. There's the crystal. Okay, Splinter Mines. They actually were a mechanic in that instance. They were you have to click them to disable them, I think, but they'd pulse cripple out on people with the Splinter Mines. Draw conditions followed by Purge Signet is a good idea. As far as I remember, that's going to take Condi's, and then Purge Signet will cleanse them all, but increase its recharge for the amount that you do. So that was good. What was this? Alona Reach. Where was it that they were saying? Here you go. Sever Artery, Gash, Gareth slash. That got to him. That's fine. So Sever Artery inflicts bleed. Gash inflicts deep wound if they have bleed. Oh, no. Sever Artery is deep wound. This one's bleed. And then Gareth slash. I can't remember what Gareth slash does. Siege Worm, Lightning Reflexes was...
Secret of Ascension is in this pouch. Second one is
oh, that's that huckster back there. We don't want to talk to him. Lightning reflexes was just it. Originally, I think it made you evade, but then they removed evasion and made it all blocks now. But I think that was the one that pulsed the damage out, right? That was an amazing farm skill. But then ignite arrows into barrage. Barrage was an elite skill that let you cast loads of arrows at once. But as an elite skill, it removed all preparations. It was kind of a great example of some of the shitty balance the devs had to do. Barrage is exciting as a skill as a ranger to use with preparations, obviously. But it was too OP, so they removed it. So basically, he casts ignite arrows to make his attacks do burn damage and stuff. And then immediately strips the ignite arrows. So this is wrong. But again, I think that's the devs are joking with that. I think that's the point. That was a synergy people wanted to do but weren't allowed because of the thingy. Draw conditions, purge signet. What else is there? Yeah, so killing the doppelganger, they're using sacrifice skills. Necros of Guild Wars 2 don't even know what sacrifice is like. You could utterly destroy yourself with necro sac skills in the original game. And yeah, they just get the stupid AI to kill itself. It was actually a solo mission, so they couldn't have wombo comboed him with traps as well. I mean, doing multi-professions they could have, but yeah. Anyway, it's amazing. They don't miss a single little detail. Like, oh, you have to step on the 3 stones to ascend. I actually don't remember. That's kind of a weird small detail of Ascension. It's just like a 2-second thing you do right before you enter the Mesa. I genuinely doubt that there's that many Guild Wars 1 players who are here in Path of Fire, saw that dialogue and knew exactly what that's talking about. Like, that little detail is brilliant. It shows when the devs are one step ahead of the player base and they know what they're doing. Like, it's really, really good.
As if you could stop me.
So, yeah. Alright, let's actually speak to these people about where the hell Kesho is.
I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Vlast, huh? Huh. He was born here, I know that much. In a city that was eventually swallowed by the desert. Beyond that, it's all rumor and conjecture. Local legends and such.
Okay, so that doesn't seem too good. Let's go speak to this person. I remember when I was first doing this, the kids were playing, but I was doing the dialogue at the same time, so I sort of lost out on it a bit.
I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
Vlast? I mean, I've heard the legends, but that's all they are. Legends and myths.
Myths aren't always fabrications. Some of them end up being true.
That's for sure. Particularly in these parts. But not all of Nyala's tallest tales are so credible. Not that it bothers the kid she teaches, of course. She's in the tent, just over there, if you'd like to inquire further.
Okay. And over to the tent. Obviously, the one in the tent is the most important one. Obviously.
It is a lot of money, but how can you put a price on Ascension?
Shut up, man. All right.
Greetings, Wayfarer. Have you come to join us in the search for Ascension?
I'm so tall as a Norn.
Maybe later. For now, I need information. I'm scouring the Riverlands for a place of special significance. It might be related to Vlast. Anything come to mind?
What's that mean? Special significance?
For the purposes of our discussion, it means really interesting.
But that could be anything around here.
Tell me about it.
Didn't you see someone with the Derman Priory the other day? What were they looking for?
Oh, that's right. A bunch of Asura came to the Riverlands. I met one of them. He was mean, but really smart.
His name is Glock. He's a bit impatient, but he knows a lot about the area. He came through this way asking vague questions, like you are now. Perhaps he'd be willing to share what he learned.
Alright, so you see how we've now had 3 different people led us to Glock. So the game is clearly pushing that. Benji says, weren't you supposed to change armor? Good point, dude. Crap, we were supposed to change armor.
All right, dear. Stick together and be back by moonrise.
Oh, where are those guys going? Ah, we were supposed to change armor. Oh my god. Okay, what gear were we going to go for? That's going to slow us down a lot, but you're right. This playthrough was supposed to do new Path of Fire set each time. So, hold on. We started... What was Chapter 1? Were we in the War Beast in Chapter 1, right? Chapter 2, we've got Spear Marshal, which we've now done.
But
there was a really awesome looking set, wasn't there, that we were holding
I'll wait
off.
a little longer, just in case.
What else was it? How can we even communicate with anyone in the desert? Do they speak New Crichton? No, Menzies. New Crichton is a written language. Tyrian as a spoken language is just like the common Tyrian tongue. That there have been other spoken languages established throughout the franchise at various times, but in general for Guild Wars 2 they just hand wave it all and say that that's... And come on, you've got to give them a bit of credit there. That's a bit down the rabbit hole to say, oh, they need to add a full-on language translation thing. I suppose they could techno-babble their way out of it with the Asura with translation devices and stuff, Star Trek style, but... Bounty Hunter. So, did we want to do Bounty Hunter here? I can't remember. I do have the full set of Bounty Hunter, and I do remember it looked good, but was it on this map we wanted to do that? Crap. Oh, I can't believe it's been so long since we started this little project here. Because Bounty Hunter does look great, especially with the right dies. Should we do a die competition again for it? Should we decide what it should be and then a die competition? Bounty Hunter plus the, what's it called? The Beast Slayer set? Oh, juicy. That's like such a good combo. I already did Bounty Hunter? I thought War Beast was what I did. I thought Chapter 1 was War Beast. Chapter 2, which we just, or Map 2, was Spear Marshal, and now we unlock a new one. Primeval? No. I'm not doing outfits. I'm doing only gear, in-game gear, because I love the look on people's faces when they're like, no, I thought the only good-looking theft came from the Gemstar. You would say Bounty Hunter for the last map, but that's just you. Isn't Funerary essentially the last set? Yeah, it was War Beast. Everyone was asking. War Beast we started with. Bounty Hunter next then? Oh, you meant Funerary. Alright, let's do it this way. Wait, what would I want in the Desolation, though? Bounty Hunter would bring on the Desolation. But the Desolations are really good. I'm going to do Bounty Hunter here, because there's a lot of instances at this point in the story. I'm doing Bounty Hunter. Plus, we go to the... Well, you guys know where we go. And I like the undeady stuff. Yeah, okay, guys. Oh, but I don't have gems to give to people. Because I've got to give a... I've got to do a double giveaway on Discord, and I've got to keep paying people for art for the audiobooks. So, I don't have any gems. We would change our back piece now. What Path of Fire back piece fits Bounty Hunter best? Banners of Amnoon. Hello, that's what we use with War Beast. Sunspear we just used. The Branded? Was that really new? Jackal Pup will look good with, oh, I don't know. That's not great. Griffing Hatchling? Lucky Dog? Great Lucky Dog, Fire Breathing Quiver, or the Inquest Device. I think probably Branded does look best. Or maybe we can just hide the back piece on this set. I'm slowly over time starting to respect outfits that hide back pieces more and more. Oh, Wraith G! Irath G, it's good to see you, man. I'm glad that you found your way to another stream. Yeah, Basalonian set for Desolation sounds good. Like, especially when you have no back piece, it really feels, you can feel the snake thing coming around, I think. Path of Fire didn't have a lack of things to do in the map. It just had a lack of decent incentive to do the things on the map. Path of Fire's maps are just as rich and content dense as the Heart of Thorns ones. But Heart of Thorns geared itself better to keep people repeatedly playing and kept the game populated. Now, the downside to that is whiners on Reddit and the forums saying, yeah, grind. But at the end of the day, a healthy game's a healthy game, and let's ignore those in the future, can we please? Back piece is always an extra option if it works, half and half, but you don't really use them. Yeah, it's only lately that I've been in that situation. And I really do want to use Beast Slayer. I don't know how many Beast Slayer skins I've got, though. I know I have the shield. I might even already have it skinned and everything. Yeah, look at how good the Beast Slayer is, guys. Honestly, look at this. Especially as a warrior, you get a shield and stuff. Look at that thing. My God. We could dye ourselves to look a bit better with that, but that totally matches. Clips a tiny bit with the thing on the top. But yeah, what does the Beast Slayer axe look like, I wonder? Let's see. Beast. Here you go. Beast Slayer axe. The game new. Oh, it's pretty cool. It's not perfect. Beast Slayer mace. Rifle. Staff we can't use anyway. That's the only thing that warrior can't really. And oh, the focus is good as well. I did always like the focus. Torch. Oh, it actually opens. It opens its mouth when you unstow it. That was awesome. Sword. And then dagger. Dagger was the other one. Pretty small for a dagger. Yeah, there is a ton of events. There is a ton of content. Oh, I don't know, because now I feel like... Now I feel like we shouldn't keep going until I have this look fully finished, but a Fashion Wars stream is going to be so boring to people. I desperately need to pay as well, to be honest. Dagger should be Karambit. Alright, guys. I look like a Rev. What? Do I? I don't look magical at all. Alright, guys. You're all going to hate me for this. You're genuinely going to hate me. It's going to be really depressing, because usually I would go for another 20 minutes or so. I'm going to end the stream here. Genuinely, I'm going to end the stream just because I'm so hot and restless. I want to use the loo. And also, what I'm going to do is I'll be back tomorrow. We'll try to go more tomorrow, I promise. We'll try to go a little bit longer. But what I'm going to do is open this up. I can't offer you gems this time. I genuinely can't. But if anyone has a cool idea for Fashion Wars, for bounty hunter, heavy, male, if you have any cool ideas, send me a link to it and I will create it for the next stream, and our next setup will be using your thing. It could be any weapon skins, any dye combo, but just have the bounty hunter. It has to be full bounty hunter. You can put a backpack on it. You can do whatever you want. You can do any dyes. It is kind of crazy how the dyes affects this one, if I remember rightly. It's like, just to show you, ruby red. If I go ruby red, like, there's a very, very, very big difference. And you guys know I can't be bothered to deal with this. So as long as it's not too gaudy or nasty or whatever, you can, yeah, you can make this whatever you want it to be. There's a chance, because there's no gems, no one will actually give a shit, no one will care. In which case, I'll just make something of my own between. But yeah, that way we'll get the full chapter with the cool outfit, the cool setup, we'll change our mini, we'll do all of that cool stuff. And yeah, that also gives me some time to sort some other stuff out here today and get the next episode of the LP up for you guys, which has really been great on me. So yeah, I guess we'll end it there. Sorry, yeah, I'm only ending about 25 minutes early. Have I seen your Discord message? Nope, I've got tons of them and I need to get through them. Alright guys, thanks very much, and I will catch you on the next stream. How do you submit? Just send me a message somewhere. I will make sure I get through my messages between the next 2 streams. So send me a message on Discord, and I'll catch you with the tons of other people. Yeah, I missed the monthly, Dusty. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with PvP at the moment. I did miss the monthly. I have to figure that out as well. Alright, cheers guys. See you next time.